What's going on, family? This is episode 50 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I am joined, as always, by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
What's good?
What's good? And you know we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on?
What is going on, fellas? Today is a jam-packed episode of the Pharaohs Podcast. We got a lot to get through. But before we get to anything, how was y'all week? I know we skipped last week, family. We had a big thing that we had to do. So what y'all want to talk about?
Man, my weekend was pretty decent. You know, it was still a lot of chilling and working out. Still work out, a few errands, and nothing too major. Figuring out my life. That's it. You know. How y'all weekend? How was y'all weekend?
Mine was good.
Figuring out your life.
Yeah, figuring out my life at this point.
Mine was good. Same as you. Working out, getting ready for the summer. So I definitely been hitting it hard, especially over the past week. I've been hitting it hard as far as working out is concerned. Yeah, just working on my projects, man. Life is good. Life is good over here in the Windy City. So, nothing to really complain about. But like I said, getting that body ready. Summertime coming right around the corner. I'm about to be at the lake. So, yeah, about to be acting a fool this summer. So,
That's
what about you, Solomon? Yeah.
Well, y'all know me. I'm always working, not doing too much playing around, especially not nowadays. I got a whole bunch of work to do. Speaking of work, there is a new book coming out called Chasing the Wind, okay, by author Griselda D. Coleman, okay. One of the projects that I've been working on with this new author will be coming out very, very soon. I just want to share real quick. Her book. Like I say, it's entitled Chasing the Wind.
Chasing the Wind.
Okay, so y'all be on the lookout for that, family. For her new book to come out.
That's what's up.
Yeah, more details as they come. Hey, Grandma. Okay, Grandma then came in. It's official now. It's the podcast. Grandma then came in. All right. And then off the top, like I said, family, last week, we kind of skipped last week because it was a big celebration in Chicago. It was a big celebration in Chicago. And well, why don't I just show the picture first? Well, for our listeners out there, our queen, in the Coptic faith, there's a time where, everybody has a moment where, they need to be elevated in life, spiritually, naturally, and all of that jazz. And I want to share the picture of the new Candace Queen Hatshepsut, which is my leader of my church. Me and Dr. Luke, our leader at our church. And last Sunday she was, she had her coronation. And she looks so wonderful. You see these pictures? She looks so beautiful. So last Sunday, family, we had to, we had to come and witness history being made.
Amen.
Had to share that off the top. We gotta recognize what has been happening. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about the new pope, but we also got us a new Candace Queen.
Candace.
There's so many different pronunciations. And should I get a little history of the Kandake? Of where it come from, what tribe it is. Maybe I should since we on here.
Absolutely.
Since we on her. But basically, like I said, there's a time in the season where we all go through different types of titles and degrees when it comes to the Coptic faith after the order of Melchizedek here in North America. And the Candace, or the, how you say, Israel?
Candace.
The Candace. And there's another type of pronunciation for the Kandake or Kentucky or whatever you want to say, because it's African language, was the title of Queen's Regent of the ancient kingdom of Kush in the Nile Valley. Okay. It means queen or queen mother. So, like I said, that was what we had going on last week. Like I say, that picture, she looks so beautiful. Had the church toe up.
Man, I wish I was there to see
I got videos and stuff like that, but we gonna wait. Yeah, we got videos and stuff. I got some videos myself. Have that footage ran at a later date to show y'all little bits and pieces of the actual coronation itself. But having some of those people come in, hey, is it priestess or is she still queen holder? Is she priestess now?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I mean,
I'm gonna just say this great queen. Yeah, I'm gonna say this great queen came in there prepared. Do you hear me? She came in there prepared, giving, handling the coronation top notch. Everybody did a great job. The empresses, everybody that participated, people who came and to be a witness there at the coronation. It was a great service. You want to add anything to that?
It looked like it was good. I wish I was there. That's one of them days where she was in the building.
Yeah. It was lit. Okay. So fellas. Well, Luke, did you want to say anything about the coronation?
No, y'all good. Y'all touched on everything.
Okay. Fellas, what y'all want to start with? We got so many topics today. What do y'all want to start with first?
Start with the new pope, who's from Chicago. While we on the spiritual realm of on the spiritual aspects of it. So we got a new pope.
Well, let's talk about it.
Pope Leo the 14th. They finally appointed.
Ain't his real name.
No, it ain't his real name. His real name is Robert Croft or something like
change. What's that song? I told Jesus it'll be all right if he changed my name. Okay. All right. Family Cardinal Robert Prevost has been elected as the first U.S. born Pope and will be known as Pope Leo the 14th. Leo made his first remarks as Pope from the balcony of St. Peter's in front of 10,000s of onlookers, calling for peace and paying tribute to the late Pope Francis. Leo is 69 years old from Dalton.
Dalton is not Chicago.
He is a leader with global experience. He spent much of his career as a missionary in South Africa and holds a dual citizenship in U.S. and Peru, where he served as a bishop. He most recently led a powerful Vatican office for bishop appointments. So, fellas, what do y'all say or think about the new Pope?
Go ahead, take it away, Luke.
No, I ain't really got much on it. I mean, congratulations to him. Being elected Pope is a political thing as well. So it takes a lot of ties, connections, right situations. For whatever reason, they found him to be worthy. The most interesting thing to the story for me is that it happened around the same time Dalton finally got their new mayor. Dalton, Illinois had been going through a lot. They had made international news when it came to Mayor Tiffany A. Hingard and just all the foolishness that had came from her administration. So I found it to be very ironic that I think the same day he was announced as the new Pope, Dalton finally got their new mayor. I can't think of the man's name, but he was already on like one of the council boards for the city of Dalton. So, I mean, that was probably the most ironic thing to me by Dalton making worldwide news for the situation they was going through, and then the Pope being elected. It was just kind of like interesting to me in that way. But other than that, it's politics. He did whatever needed to be took, had whatever was needed to be had, and the Cardinals seemed to like him. So, to every man there's some kind of reward. So he got his set for life. The Pope position is a position to death. It's a very high monetary position because your whole family gets moved into the royal palace. All your immediate family, of course. And usually you can pull in any extra members. The Pope is like one of those positions where you can do whatever you want to do, really, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be some interesting things going on, seeing as how he is from an American culture, which is new, for Rome, but not so much like to not be expected in these days and times, because they kind of got a lot of issues going on over there. So we'll see we'll see how he'd be able to affect it. And I'm also interested to see if he can be any effect to Rome, because he's a younger Pope, and you know what I mean by younger compared to other popes. He's more of a younger, youthful Pope. So we'll see what he kind of got up his sleeve.
What about you, Israel?
It was a whole bunch of funny stuff on Instagram. I'm trying to see if I could send it so you could have you could post it, or you could have it shared on this. Shared on the screen here. Where I got to send it to?
You can share it on your screen.
Trying to figure out how to. Well, it's on my phone and I'm on my laptop, so let me see. Bear with me for one moment.
Say,
yeah, go ahead, say what you gotta say.
I was just gonna say, when it comes to the whole Pope thing, it is like strategic to me. Because, well, first of all, he's the 267th Pope, and then he's the first one that's actually from America. I thought that was a little strange.
Why did you think it was strange?
Because out of all the popes, you picked one from Chicago. How that work? I'm just, I mean, I'm sorry, not all popes, all the cardinals and bishops and stuff like that. That's the one you picked. Like, but like I say, he has, global experience. He has been a missionary in different countries and things of that nature. He's been putting together different important meetings for the Vatican. So I understand, he's supposedly qualified, but I believe that the whole spiritual saying of like that was literally the last pope. I think that was literally the last. I think Pope Francis was literally the last pope.
The last
I
pope of
do
that
not,
era?
huh?
The last pope of that era?
I want to say the last pope of. I don't want to say era. I want to say. I, I guess I had to use that
I'm
word,
like,
but I
last
want to
pope
say.
of a European pope?
I think that was the last real one. The one that was under a certain order, a certain. I like to speculate on here on this podcast. I think that he's the last one that was actually under the order of the real popes over there in Europe. I believe now they just put in figureheads over there. I think we are in a different time period. You can say era like you said before Israel, but I mostly believe that this is literally a whole new upstart. Now, okay, we already know that of course they have the we already know that they have their own secrets that they hold. You feel me? And they hold order. And I believe, yeah, they're gonna still the stuff is still gonna be around for them to know. But I believe now it's transitioned to something different.
But he ain't did nothing. So why do you think he transitioned to something different?
You said because you
We'll
feel like he
find
an
out.
American, he was born in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of. I mean, they had more exciting situations of popes being elected to me than that. That would be a little bit more controversial as far as the history of the popes. They have had way more exciting situations. But I don't know. Like I say, we don't really know what it's a political position. So it's a vote, usually depending on whatever the church, the direction the church is looking to go into. I'm not surprised because the church probably is going to be trying to revamp. So I would pick an American Pope if he was trying to revamp, especially if he was trying to attract younger audience of membership and just kind of getting the next generation in there. I would pick a Pope from America. Um, that to me would be a very smart move because there's going to be a cultural sense, even with him being a fan of the White Sox. Stuff like that. It's a advertising move. That was like one of the first things they announced. Oh, he's a White Sox fan. They do things like this because they're trying to bring in more people. It's like trying to tie the relation. So maybe that's why. But imagine picking some pope from Northumbria. Most people don't even know what Northumbria is. That don't mean we don't have popes that are from Northumbria, but you get what I'm saying? It's like that's where most of these popes were coming from, places like that, or regions of Italy that maybe never really been heard of. So maybe it was a strategic thing to bring more people into the Catholic Church. That's I don't know. Speculate.
That's not gonna work though.
What? Dang, it's messed up. I can't log in to Instagram from here, so I
But
don't know.
I don't believe that that's gonna work because everybody's moving away from religion into spirituality. Most of Americans, Europeans, we don't know. To be honest, I really would like for some UK people to come onto the podcast to tell us exactly how they're really doing things over there when it comes to Catholic and spirituality and stuff. But over here in America, they're kind of moving away from that. I don't new Catholics is The only way you're gonna have new Catholics is when they're born. That's how I look at it. I don't see people converting to being Catholic, even with an American Pope. I just feel like, and then it's also the thing of like, this is a whole nother country. The whole purpose of America even being started was because they wanted their own freedom to do what they wanted to do in a whole nother country. And also conquering and dictating and being savages. They are on top of that, they still wanted their own freedom away from the whole European system of what they were doing over there. So
Right.
I just don't see it being a thing of like trying to merge it. I don't think that'll work. That's just me though.
Hey, see if you can see that email that I sent you. But to go into my perspective of it, I feel like it is interesting times for sure. The internet goes unmatched because they have so much commentary, so much comedy when it comes to them saying, "Oh, the new Pope from Chicago," and then they had a whole bunch of memes on it. Trying to see if Solomon was able to pick that up or share the screen because apparently I can't get into it from my laptop. But yeah, a whole lot of controversy on it with I guess this new Pope because at first they didn't know who to pick, and then all of a sudden they got a Pope, and then let's see what else was it. You ever see it? There we go. The internet reacts to the first American Pope. And then if you could slide over. Let's see.
I'm trying to slide over now. I this is okay. I synced this. Did you send it to the group chat?
Yeah, I did send it to the group chat. I was trying to figure out how to put it on here, but the laptop and phone, two different things. But that, and then go to the next one.
For the wrestling fans, for the people who just listening on Spotify, we're looking at a video of Cody Rhodes. If y'all been paying attention to wrestling, he's the American Nightmare. So he's just walking down to the ring. That's funny.
Yeah.
I can't think of a worse time in history to elect the American Pope. I don't know what's so bad about it. I'm trying to get this. I don't know. New Pope serving the body of Christ at Mass.
Having deep dish pizza for all of the Vatican City. Crazy.
Hey, that'll be crazy if he said that's what he need to eat.
Deep dish pizza. He went on a first class plane from Chicago.
Anxiously waiting to find out who the new Pope is, and I'm not even Catholic. And that's the point I'm trying to prove. Like, why are we even caring over here in America about this?
Especially when people are like, they're not really religious no more. They say they is, but they're not.
But the Catholic Church still holds a lot of power, especially in the city of Chicago. Catholic Church is one of the wealthiest institutions on the planet.
That is true. That is true.
Much as we may think they don't have it, they got it. They just, everybody got to know how to play their role. I think the only thing that always made the Pope position to me even interesting is that the Pope is the Pope without any jurisdictional power, meaning it's not something like you're elected, but once you are elected, you're elected till you die. There is no re-election. You really can do what you see as fit when it comes to where you want to take the church. But the difference is now the Catholic Church is starting to lose the grip of Italy, just like the British monarch lost Britain. You still have a monarch, but that don't mean that they run Britain. Britain has a whole nother statute now that runs their country. Right. I don't believe the Catholic Church really wants that. for Italy. I think they want to keep it to where it is their traditional way with how it's always been. But as we know, times are changing. So that's why I was saying maybe it is a reason why they brought him in there. But I don't know. Who knows? It's a big seat to fill though.
Big shoes to fill. And also, I think he should come with his own agenda because a lot of people is like, oh, they hope he carries out Pope Francis, whatever. I'm like, nah. Every new leader has their own agenda. Now, if they want to build on that, cool. But I wouldn't make it his sole responsibility to be like, oh, I want to do what the last Pope didn't do, unless that's something they was working on. It's like, no, you had what you wanted to work on, what you wanted. Like, come with your own stuff. Maybe build off of his, but don't say, oh, like some people trying to make it hope where he pick up where the other one just follow through with the other popes agenda. I'm like, everybody got their own agenda. He should go forth with his, whatever that may be. Same thing with leaders. Our Coptic leaders, when they come into their position of power, leadership, or teachership, it's like you should have your foundation and whatever your mission shall be, and decree it that and build off of that. But yeah, that's my
well, fellas. Oh snap! Speaking of leaders and they own agenda, your boy Donald Trump making history and headlines again. And I just feel like at this point, he might be the third famous president we ever had.
Who was the first two?
I feel like so this, huh?
So he sound like somebody off Family Guy when he made that noise.
I'm thinking to myself, the first two is JFK, right? And the second one is Bill Clinton.
Oh snap!
Wait, I'm gonna say four. The third one is Barack Obama, and then I think Donald Trump is number 4. What y'all think of that list?
I keep JFK
at 1.
Nah, he wouldn't be number 1. Reagan would be number 1.
Okay.
Reagan was a whole nother era for the United States, literally, bro. It changed the whole world. But Barack Obama, nah. He wasn't all that wrong to me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, I'm saying it as in like no, not policy, but I'm saying like famous, like because he's the first black one. So, well, quote unquote.
Yeah,
so that's how I was saying it like that.
Yeah, so it'd be Reagan, JFK, Obama, and then definitely Trump. In that now.
Yeah, y'all boy up in the news almost every other day trying to stay relevant.
Shaking the bag.
Well, fellas, yeah. So the White House is considering sweeping cuts to federal funding assistance programs, including the Section 8 voucher system, in a move that could leave millions of low-income families without rental support. You know how many that is, fellas? It's 2.3 million people, families that is on Section 8 right now.
That means somebody gonna have to get up and go to work.
It say, according to the Times, New York Times, President Donald Trump and administration officials have discussed the dismantling of existing aid that will be replaced with a smaller system of state-running grants. 3 individuals with these talks speaking with the Times on condition, said that the changes are expected to be part of Trump's upcoming budget proposal for 2026. Although the details remain vague, sources indicate that the plan would likely result in fewer federal dollars in rental assistance, compounding expected reductions across the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Mm-mm.
So, fellas, Trump doing it again. He making you get up. I had made a post when I seen this. I had made a post on Facebook and I said he's really making y'all get into y'all tapping into y'all full potential. Like he's gonna make you be rich. Like he's gonna make you get an idea. You know how they be saying, pressure makes diamonds. He's putting the pressure to me on Black America. I ain't even gonna say black.
The
The
lazy.
minority, the lower class, or the working class America to either be where you at or go up. That's how I'm looking at this. Fellas, how y'all seeing this when it comes to him counseling or cutting Section 8 program next year?
I feel like he want people to work. Like he want people to get up and work. He knows people that be on Section 8 and they ain't working. They ain't got to do nothing all day, but they still making babies, still smoking that stuff, drinking that drink, but they ain't going to work. He just wants you to work. It should be different type of stipulations to where it's like, yo, you can still get this as long as you work and get a job. If you ain't got a job, you can't get this. Some type of work.
What you think, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too surprising. Basically, we're going through a government trimming. Many nations have been through this before, where your government starts cutting back on the spending. I have no issue with it because we clearly see that the money just been getting wasted. Outside of people personal lives, yeah, we all know people who been on Section 8 way too long, just riding the system. And I have no sympathy.
Yeah, they said that too. They said they've been on a waiting list. Some people been on a waiting list.
Right, you got people on
Which
waiting
is crazy.
lists, but then you also got people that's receiving it that no longer needs it, or is given the incentive for them not to push as much. Now, I'm usually controversial because if I was a leader, I would be like that. I would be an iron fist type leader because I don't like weak people. So that's something that a lot of people would disagree with me on, because I would prefer to have funds for people who are disabled. I mean, an actual body injury or mental injury or internal injury where they cannot work. I would prefer to have more money set aside for them and our elders than people who, just kind of work in the system. I have no sympathy for you if you play in the system, because if you abuse the system, if you abuse the power, it's kind of hard for people who really need it to get it. I've never been an anarchist. I've never been one of the people who say throw everything out the window, throw all the rules and all that. They don't like us. They killing us. I always say I'm the father of my eye. That's never going to work for me because I know it doesn't do anything. You can't come this far only for you to throw everything out the window and think everything is going to be okay, because many people think they can handle that type of life where there are no rules and it just is what it is, but they can't really. We've gotten comfortable with order. We like order. We like comforts. We like knowing that if somebody break in our house, we can call some people that's going to come and help us, regardless of how much people say they don't like it. And, F this and F the police and all that, y'all be the main ones calling them when something happens. Because at the end of the day, that's what your money pay for. It's the weirdest thing to me. So I'm not surprised with the government trimming the fat of all the money that's being wasted. I have no sympathy for these people that's been abusing it. And in my personal opinion, if you really need the Section 8, they will have it. But probably what's going to be coming up is there going to be more stipulations for you to have to prove that you need it, instead of being able to finesse the numbers. Because that's how most people do, is they finesse their numbers. Even with the way they'll do their job, they'll go get a 1099. They won't report that because the 1099 is going to come up different than a W-2. A W-2 will end up disqualifying you from Section 8 after a certain amount of time because it would breach the agreement. Well, now you found a job. Or it's like some people, they'll do hair, or they'll have these other gigs, but they're still they got money, but they're still collecting Section 8. Like, bro, I have no sympathy for you. Let that be for somebody who really need it. who's going through physical. People get their legs chopped off at work. People get their hands cut off. People be going through brain tumors and all kind of stuff that cannot get Section 8 because there's people on there that don't have any of these type of situations going on. That's just abusing the power. So, hey, more power to them.
What's going on, Eric? What's going on Eric in the chat? Yeah, like I said, I when I had made my post, you know, if he canceling out Section 8 is going to make you get up off your what they used to say back in the day, derriere. You got to get off your ass and you got to create something, because as time continues to go on, we're seeing that AI is now taking people's jobs. Luke, I know you was talking about the 20,000 people who lost their jobs, the UPS employees. And that always could be about the whole regime of, like I say, the new business models, the AI, everything is being restructured in front of our eyes. I don't know if people are panicking because of restructure, but you have to understand that some things have to be canceled, some things have to stop for you to redo something. If you can't pay your rent anymore, guess what? You have to go to another place that you can that can be more affordable. You know what I'm saying?
Pay your rent. All your money spent. Lord,
if your car, you know what I'm saying? If your car is damaged and you need another car, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to go out and go get you a brand new one that's going to cost you $700 a month. You're going to go get you something that might be a little bit of a downgrade so you can get your money back up to get something better. So all of this, they're cutting out this, they're cutting out that. To me, I've never been on Section 8. So at work right now, I got a promotion.
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations, bro.
For a hot minute.
Congratulations, bro. But
secure in the bag.
Yeah, it's you just have to continue to push hard. See, the thing is though, you have to have a mentality that you're going to make it. And let's be 100, let's be for real. This is the Pharaohs Podcast. We're going to be honest. We're going to tell the truth. There are many people that are in power right now that did not do it so-called righteously or in a positive way. Some people got their hands dirty. Most of the old money, as they say, which is the old white America and things of that nature, they got it through slavery. They got it through lying. They got it through taking other people's ideas. They got it through mischievous ways. But now there is a system set where if you do enough research and study, you're going to find a way to get ahead. And that is what Trump is doing. He's resetting. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, he's doing this for all his rich friends and all the billionaires and stuff like that. Then become a rich friend. That's all I could say. Do you know how many times I be wanting to boo-hoo with situations and problems in my life, and that does nothing? You can't boo-hoo and cry.
You gotta put in that work.
Yes, you got to put in some work.
So more than a hammer, more than a nail. Work.
So I don't have a issue with this. I've never been on Section 8, so now I ain't gonna lie. Food stamps, them things busting. You ain't got to spend your own money.
Oh yeah.
You ain't got to spend your own money. That was a blessing. I used to have that before.
Man, I was on it for a good year, and then they be like, hold up, you making too much money now. You gotta take it. I'm like, man, that was fun while it lasted. It was a good year, like them ties.
Yeah, so yeah, like I say, with the Section 8 thing, you know, people just gonna have to get over that.
Especially the ones that have been on it forever in a lifetime.
Yeah. You know who else got to get over something, fellas?
Who?
Lil Wayne and his girlfriend. I don't know her name. I ain't finna give her this much clout either on this channel because she said something that made me mad. She posted a video. All right, so Lil Wayne been dating this girl, Shorty. I don't know her name for real. He put out the crib on Mother's Day, and so she made a video. She made a video talking about some. Can anybody send me like any lawyer numbers and names and all this stuff because she got put out the crib? A lawyer for what?
Why he put her out?
He probably tired of her. It's Lil Wayne. You know how many girls he have?
And in short, she overstayed her welcome, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. She need to chill out. Cause what you need a lawyer for? He ain't marry you. You ain't see. This is what I mean by entitlement. These people be entitled. These people be so entitled to what a man got. It's ridiculous. And I know it's some women listeners, and they gonna get mad at me when I say this. But I did some research. I did some digging. Okay. The most wealthiest women in the world, besides Oprah, he said her name ain't on the deed. The most wealthiest women in the world gained their wealth from a man. I know y'all gonna be mad that I said this, but
He making it hot up in here. If I had some tea, it'd be burning, boy.
The most wealthiest women in America. You could Google it. You could search this up yourself. They got it from either divorce or they inherited from their father.
Which brings it back to they got it from a man.
Which brings it back, they got it from a man. So, fellas, what y'all want to say about this little Wayne situation?
Wealth comes from her heritage from the daughter of Walt founder Sam Walton from her daddy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, just sound like he probably got tired of. I think she tried to use the clout of Mother's Day to try to get some attention from it, as we starting to see a lot of people do. They go straight to social media because, you know, once you say his name, you're gonna get sympathy and woo 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 woo. I thought it was an interesting story. I thought it was a very interesting story. It's good to know still some backbone dudes out here, bro, because ain't nobody got time for no foolishness. I wouldn't care if it was Mother's Day. I don't care. If there's a reason that man, it's his house, so you got to go.
But she said she's a mother, though, Luke. She said she's a mom.
I don't know. Who cares? That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Like, most of us got moms.
That goes to his entitlement statement.
Exactly. We got here because we got moms. So it's not that being a mom is not as important, because it's very important. But we've inflated that to equal. Oh well, foolishness can then come on. No, you can't just, like, it is what it is. Let's be real. If you're a mom, okay, and you have nowhere to go now, he didn't kick you out, but that's not his child. Your priorities are all messed up.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the real issue of what's going on. You've spent more time focusing on Lil Wayne than you have your own child. Because there's no reason that somebody else's child is now don't have a place to go, because that ain't his child. Like, it ain't his kid. Now, if it's his kid, I not doubt it's his kid. I really doubt it. I can see if that was his child, the little girl, she ain't even little. She almost like a teenager. But if that was his child, I can see him saying, "No, my baby stay, but you gotta go." But it's not his responsibility. Just because we're men, we're not responsible for you all, especially for the bad decisions that you have made in your life. That's not our fault. We try to help where we can, but I've never been one of the ones who felt like, you know, oh, well, there should be a pass because, oh, she has a child. I got children too. Grow up. You have to grow up at some point and take accountability. You know, and I got this question. It's so funny because I got the question before. They was like, you know, well, what if a woman said she don't want to deal with you because you don't have children? The difference between when you ask a dude that question, we really don't care. Beautiful women are all around. There is no scarcity of beautiful, attractive women. So
Oh,
most of the time, men now, my situation is different than most black men because most black men, like I said before, are not like me. I'm a rare statistic. I have children. Most black men my age don't. They don't have children. They don't have any baggage. They
How
don't.
old
They
are you?
don't. It's a small percentage of us that actually have children.
How old
So
are
if
you?
you a man that don't have children and you presented with women that also don't have children, beautiful, young, versus the woman that does have children, she may be beautiful, she may be young, but she has more responsibilities and she also has something else that you'll never truly have control over. So now I can't see Lil Wayne sitting there trying
what
to
what
go
what
through all
about? Hold on, wait a minute, Lou, because I know I can hear the women screaming now. Well, what about they gonna say? Well, I like me a tall, muscular man. It ain't a lot of them out here, so you know I'm gonna get with the good looking ones, and all you regular uggos can get on somewhere.
that's not the same. That's a preference.
Okay,
That's a preference of something you can't control. You can control if you close your legs.
okay.
You can control if you require the man to put on a condom.
Mm.
I can't control how tall I'm gonna be. So who cares? That's why I say most of the time, most intelligent men are not gonna get emotional from stuff like that. They're gonna say, so what? Because there's plenty of people that's gonna you'll find out of all the women over all the world. This is why passport bros are getting so big and all this stuff. If you don't like it, I'm pretty sure out of all of the billions of beautiful women, I ain't talking about average women, I'm talking about gorgeous looking women. There are a lot of them. And a lot of them are having a hard time even finding a man. So they're starting to settle for the shorter guys. They're starting to settle.
What?
Because everybody
What?
ain't gonna get all the tall dudes with the six packs and the six figures. I mean, it's
Well, I
only so many
heard.
of them that exist. And
Well,
most
well,
of
I
them don't
heard.
even want the women with children. Most dudes who are at a high esteem level never deal with women with children. That's why like you said, it's probably just one of his girlfriends or somebody he was talking to on the side. Because when you got that much level, that much status, most men with status are not looking for women that have children already
Well,
by
she did say that on in that video that she was flying two more. He was flying two more girls in so he could be with for that day.
as he
But
should.
but
That's
I did
crazy.
hear about the passport bros. I seen this. I seen this little meme, or no, it was a status on Facebook, right? That they said the passport bros be going out of town. They be mad at the passport bros because they go out of town and they pay for prostitutes in whatever city that they go to.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
they do the same. They do the same thing they do here. The difference between here is that your payment is take me to dinner, take me to a movie. I want to do this. I want to do that. You still paying. You still paying. You still paying. You just
That
make
was
it sound a little bit better. The question is, do you want to take somebody out who's sweet, kind, has that innocent feminine feeling, or you want to take the shorty out there? Yo, what's up, bro? You know what's good? What you mean? Nah, bro, come on, bro. Most dudes don't want to hear all that. If we wanted to do that, we would date our homies because we don't date our homies for a reason. So I'm not even too surprised that men like
whoa. There's
we
some
don't.
people. There's some people
Well,
that they
hey, if that
That's
oh,
wild.
but most that's what I'm saying generally for most men are gonna find where they can wherever a man feels the most appreciated is usually where he put his time.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the culture now for the dating side of America, for American youth, the ones who are still in the dating game, is all screwed up
yeah,
because us as men has gotten hip to the game, which really kind of just threw everything. It turned the table upside down. We got hip to what was going on, thinking we were actually doing something. The whole time we found out we was getting played because social media allowed so many women to get on and start telling us about all of the things and the mental things that they do to find a date, to get with a dude, go out to eat with him, but they don't even plan on seeing him again. We didn't even really know this stuff until social media came out. You know, unless you had an uncle that was a true player and really knew the game and can break the game down to you. But the average young man did not have that type of uncle or that type of father or that type of granddaddy who can put them onto game on the way that women are thinking and how you maneuver as a man. Now we know. So it's like, hey, it is what it is. If she gives you issues, don't get into no domestic abuse. Don't get into no verbal abuse. Don't even let her shake your mind. Just turn. Go find somebody else. And then if you're really good, you go get that passport. Because passport can be for anywhere. I can go to Uganda. I can go to South Africa.
Yes, sir.
It's not just the Colombian women, bro. It's like when they say passport bros, they're meaning these men have realized I don't have to just look at the ones that's in the room. Maybe what happens if I step outside of the room? You know, because I'm all for, black people really staying with black people. But if that's the case, it's plenty of beautiful African women. Oh, good God Almighty. That are in the motherland waiting
Dr.
for
Umar.
a green card. Waiting for a green card. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to deal with the one that actually want me or the one that want to tolerate me?
Yeah.
I want the one that want me, not the one that's tolerating me. So that's just my opinion on it.
Well, when you talked about the emotional standpoint of what's going on with some men, fellas, we do got to talk about one off the topic thing. I am trying to get through. We got a lot of topics. We got two more after this. But Tory Lanez has been rushed to the hospital because he got stabbed while he was in jail. I think 10 times, they said. One of the he got into it with one of the inmates. He's supposed to be dropping an album this summer. And I'm trying to figure out, how do they be recording in jail, bro? I don't.
On the phone.
Okay.
They probably got too much phone time. But man, you just can't be shooting these fine women in the foot and go to jail and don't think ain't nobody finna retaliate.
Listen, for us to tackle this situation, fellas, I'm trying to figure out. I still don't know how true this whole situation is. We know he had the gun. We know that Megan Thee Stallion did get shot. Those are facts. We do know that.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out what took place for all of this to happen. Like, what's the real behind this situation?
Alcohol. A drunken night, alcohol. It doesn't matter. The situation pan out. That's all that matters. But at the end of the day, you can't do what you're gonna do to women like that and think other men don't retaliate. Which brings us to retaliation, because we ain't gonna spend too much time on these celebrities. They got their lives. The retaliation of what's the brother name? What's his name? Something Hinton. We just keep on skating. The celebrities got their money. We need greater issues now. Let's go to the next one.
All right, man. Let's talk about this then. Let's definitely talk about this. Oh man.
The retaliation, while you put it up, basically it was an eye for an eye, right? Back to how they used to do it. From the brother we talking about is, what's his name? Rodney Hinton Jr. See, I've been looking at these current events. Right, here we go. Boom. That is his son, who was pulled over, as we find more.
I'm sorry, fellas. That's the cousin Ryan. Yes, that's the cousin Ryan Hinton. But I threw him up because this is how it all started.
Let's go to how it started.
Okay, so let's dig deep into this. So like I say, the picture that I'm showing is the cousin Ryan Hinton. So Rodney Hinton Jr., who authorities say intentionally hit and killed an Ohio sheriff's deputy with a car after his son was fatally shot by police, will remain in jail without bond while he awaits trial on a murder charge. Okay, Hinton Jr. was denied bond at a Tuesday court hearing in Cincinnati. He was charged with aggravated murder and the killing of the sheriff's deputy Larry Henderson.
And that was the one who shot his son.
Yes.
But
No. It wasn't the one who shot his son.
Well, where does the cousin? Where did the cousin come in at? We had to put these pieces.
I'm about to get to it.
Rodney up.
I'm about to get to it. So the latest development in the case that began last week when Cincinnati police shot and killed Hinton Jr.'s son. Police say 18-year-old Ryan Hinton was one of the 4 men who were fleeing after officers found them in a stolen car, and he was armed when he ran. That's what they're saying.
But let me pause you at the stolen car. It was also found out that he missed a payment, and the people reported the car stolen.
What?
Yeah. Man, it get deep. It get deep.
So basically,
the car ain't stolen. It was a missed payment, and the people he owed, the financing company, whatever company, they reported it stolen.
Wow.
Yes. And that's where it snowballed. I don't know where cousin come from. He was one of the other people.
Yeah, he was one of the people that ran out the car.
Yeah. So of course.
But they killed him.
They killed the son.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the cousin that you just had. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and Rodney did as he should. He retaliated.
Oh, you on team retaliation with it?
Oh yeah, on team retaliation, because it's like, yo, you know how black people and white cops is, right? You go to the white cop, pull up on a black person. Now you got to narrate. Now you, as in me, I narrate everything. It is in my glove compartment. Can I reach for it? Or it is in here. I tell them where it's at, and I ask them because they all trigger happy. Right? They trigger happy. And I'll be like, yo, I ain't trying to go on the news tonight. I'll just get out the car. You want me to get out? You can reach for it. I ain't doing nothing. Because I ain't trying to go on the news. But yeah. And then that's what ended up happening with Rodney retaliating because the police officer shot his son, who wasn't in a stolen vehicle, but it was reported stolen. But his son, I don't know, was he? I don't know the part. I think the part I'm missing is where he shot him, because I know it wasn't in the car.
I don't got that part of where he shot him at.
But it was one of those situations where it was like, yo, you ain't even have to shoot him. Like, really? So you know what I'm gonna do? You kill mine, I'm gonna kill yours. But there was also another story. I gotta find that story where a man killed this other police officer's daughter because the police officer killed his son because he was I'm gonna say it was a traffic stop. Same situation, kind of sort of similar situation, police. But the dude shot his son, and yeah, he ended up killing the police officer's daughter. So yeah.
Well, Luke, you know, this man here wanted to exercise the eye for an eye type of energy that the Bible talk about. So what you say about this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tragic situation all around. Emotions, I really do understand. Do I agree? I can't agree. Because if I agree with it, again, it opens up the door for unlawfulness, and nothing is thriving when laws are not followed. You can't make
what
no
you
money.
Mean? The Purge movies was successful.
That's why it was called. It's not real. It's not real. These as you grow older, and maybe it is. I'm getting close to 30. So it is me. Reality is so different. Like, so I understand where he's coming from. He had crashed out, emotional at the time, very emotional. The full report says that after he watched the body cam video, they had the meeting where they called the family in to watch the body cam video as the investigation was going on. He wasn't able to stomach it, but he was able to he knew who the name was. Right after that is when he got in his car and he looked for that exact officer who at that time happened to be doing patrol for crosswalks at the time. So he crashed out, and that's why I'm like, it's a sad thing, because I believe in times like this, when things like this go on, it is an eye for an eye. It does make it. It seems like it's gonna be a thing to where they're gonna slow down now. This is not gonna happen no more because they're gonna think about the fact if that was the case, it would have stopped a long time ago. It's not gonna work that way. Usually, legislation fixes a lot of these problems, because you need something that's a continuous process. Something that's a constant process, constant level of accountability will begin to phase out corruption, but it will never go down to zero. Just as long as you have police officers who are human beings, there's never going to be a 0% of racism and zero of bias between the police departments. It's never going to happen, bro, because you're dealing with people. They crash out, they have reservations, they go through things, they make mistakes. So many different things come upon when you're dealing with humans, working with humans. The only thing I really never liked about it is that it seems to me now the police are starting to get this mindset of when they see someone with a gun, they are a threat. And I don't like that because that was what America was.
No, it's only black.
Yeah, I mean, you can say black. I mean, whoever it is. I don't like the aspect of it, period, though. Like the uneducated, the offense that the police get because they see someone else with a gun, but then they tell us, oh, we're supposed to feel safe because they took an oath and now they carry a gun. I mean, you still got a gun. I should feel comfortable around your gun and your holster, just like you should feel comfortable around my gun and my holster as a civilian. You being an officer don't make you any better as a gun holder than me as a civilian. That's the part I've always I don't like that part because one, I believe guns are necessary. Yes, they're very necessary because I ain't got no time to be bringing no long sword to a gunfight. I'm not no fool. Okay, you cannot rewind back history to where the Chinese didn't come up with the gunpowder. It is what it is. They are here. The goal for me is to be able to educate more people on it and gun safety than to sit there and make it seem like it's such a bad thing or it's so scary when you have one. Because the more educated people get with gun safety, in my mind, it gives the police less excuses to feel uncomfortable around them. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like they're using that as a tactic to say, oh, he got a gun, he got to be a problem. That's crazy when you in America, where everybody used to have a gun on their hip like it was a cell phone. It's almost like I don't even be believing it sometimes. But I get it in the South and in the North and certain regions of the country, it's a little different. We find places in the country that are still more traditional or old school, like the South. They're more comfortable with guns because they still have the wild, wild west mentality. Versus the newer, bigger cities are like, we're banning them. The only people that can have them is the police officers. But it's not a surprise why the bigger cities have more crime. Because ain't no criminal going to go register a gun to commit a crime. So
yeah, they get dirty.
The guns away from people who need them. And I said all that to say, now we're in situations to where, oh, he got a gun. It becomes like, dude, just chase him. Now, if he pulled his gun out and pointed at you, that's a whole nother thing. But we all seen the body cam footage. If ain't nobody been able to see it, you can look it up. It's public. He ain't reached for his gun. He was running. So if anything, you tackle him with the caution of there might be a chance that I get shot as a police officer. But if the first thing you're going to do is pull out your gun, why are you a police officer in the first place if you're scared of dying? That's just like in that capacity, scared of dying. Everybody
you can't run too.
Well, I had security classes before when I was doing armed security, and my instructor he joked about this, but he said he was like, if you scared, go join he said security ain't for nobody that's weak and scared. He said, but if you want to be scared, he said, go join. I was in Chicago. He said, go join the CPD. And when you think about it, a lot of scary people, a lot of scary men, they do feel more tough as a police officer. Once they put that badge on and they got that gun on their side, you ever seen somebody get tough when their friend came around?
Yeah,
they weren't tough by themselves. That's exactly how some police officers are with their whole mentality.
And I like the police officer that be like, I'm finna take off I'll take off the badge. We could go around a bet,
I like some type of police officers too. They real.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, happened. When I put it back on, you better act
but
right.
but this whole situation, I know Israel said he kind of on team retaliation. I'm going to say I'm not on team retaliation only because and let me say this, because I am a person where like I am an alpha now type person. I don't know if it's the pettiness of me. I'm trying to work out of it. God ain't through working with me for sure.
It's your scales. You're a Libra, right?
I'm a Libra.
Yeah, the scales
So
be off sometimes.
so sometimes, okay, you want to do something to me. If you think I'm not gonna turn the other cheek, like as some people can do and master. We have a saying in our organization as the Coptic faith, the harmony to shift a situation. But sometimes when you in that fire, it be kind of hard to cool down, right? So I personally understand the crash out. Would I advise the crash out? No, because now he's in jail without bond, and they gon' probably set him as an example. It's a deputy at that. It wasn't just a regular officer. So it's a lot. He has a serious charge. Aggravated murder is crazy. Um, and then also his lawyer is trying to give him the mental illness defense. I don't think that's going to work in this situation because he got in his car, even if it hurt to see this, for you to go looking for that man is
Temporary
like,
insanity.
You could say temporary insanity. You could, but we gonna see what the courts say. But as you were saying though, Luke, about the fearfulness of like being an officer. Just because you see a gun does not mean that person is going to use it against you or anything like that, right? The comfortability level. But at the same time, police are already in training in academies. They're already taught to be like, hey, one of us got to go home tonight, and I want to go home to my family. So they're already on edge. You get what I'm saying? Because some criminals don't care. They bust back at police. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care what you got on. You a regular person to them. So I understand they situation, or where they stance at, but I think this is going to continue when it comes to people trying to retaliate against law enforcement, because we have another situation that you have brought up to us, Luke, about the $2.5 million dollar lawsuit settlement, okay, involving a group of former um, Mississippi law enforcement officers who called themselves the Goon Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Goon Squad is a term that 6 law enforcement officers in Rankin County, Mississippi, known for using excessive force and brutality. In January of 2023, the Goon Squad members were involved in a brutal assault and torture of 2 black men, Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, during a warrantless raid at Parker's home. Now, they did it a way where they went to court with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they got paid. The criminal charges, the officers faced federal and state charges, were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 10 to 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's
You
I
gotta
get
beat
what
him by
you.
the book or hit him
Yeah,
in the pocket.
they did that one by the book. And again, I don't think in that instance anybody was killed or nothing like that. One of the victims was shot in the jaw from a mock execution that they were doing in the house, where they were kind of teasing him as if they was going to kill him, and one of the guns accidentally went off. So there was somebody
Whoa.
harmed. But stuff like this happens all the time. There are organizations or links in police departments that do things on the side that is not known by their actual superior officers or people who are over them.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's like you're never really gonna, because you're dealing with people. You know, you're gonna have good people and bad people. You got bad people who drive ambulance drivers. You know, they or who done some messed up stuff on the operating table while they operating on somebody. There's always gonna be those things. The goal is to try to root it out as much. You know, but I understand where you're coming from, Solomon. When it comes to the last case, it's like it's kind of hard. I would argue insanity because he crashed out. Like if he had a history of murder or if he had a history of assault, I would say maybe this was easier for him. But if he has no history or anything like that, he crashed out. Nobody just says, "Oh, I'm going to kill you today." That takes a certain level of a mindset. You know, this is why everybody can't be a president or a leader, because they kill people on a daily basis. It's a part of the job. So it's not something that's easy for the average person to mentally conjure up. And if he was able to do that in a split second, 9 times out of 10, his emotions was too high for him to make a logical decision, which, like you said, his lawyer is probably going to argue. You know, that he due to emotion, he made a really bad decision. And we do know emotions, we call it crashing out, but too high of level of emotion can cause the brain to make bad decisions psychologically. So they probably going to try to prove all of that. Bring in scientists to try to show how the adrenaline level makes you think different. They're going to probably do whatever they can, depending on his level of legal team, to try to prove that the hardship of what he was feeling caused him to do that. But it would still be considered premeditated. Because like you said, Solomon, he had to go and find him. And he found him while he was doing crosswalk duty. And, you know, it's crazy, man. But
what'd you say about that, Israel? That goon squad situation?
Man, every organization should have something like that. Absolutely. Because everybody ain't going to be willing to, but they will be willing to let somebody else do how they feel.
I mean, I agree with the suing. I mean, getting paid $2.5 million. The sheriff's department gave them $500,000, and then $2 million that was the rest came from the insurance of the
yeah, and try to do it by the book first, and then hey, if that don't work, you got to resort to desperate times causing desperate measures.
You talking about the officers? Because they the ones that beat up them 2 men for no reason.
The officers got paid.
One in the job.
Got paid. No, the officers didn't get paid. The victims got paid.
The victims got paid. Oh, well, yeah. I think as far as the situation with the squad, my statement stands. Every organization needs a squad or something like that for people that do stuff like that when they don't work by the book, you know.
What a goon squad was the name. That's what they named themselves. The guys that actually committed the crime were calling themselves the goon squad.
Okay? Yeah.
So
I mean, it ain't favorable.
No, but what I'm saying is they were the ones who were actually convicted. I think it was 6 officers. So they created like this squad outside of their own traditional officer duties. They were dirty cops. They were
dirty cops. I expect dirty cops to be dirty cops, but it wasn't right. I could see if they was doing it because they felt like whatever happened, just the same situation, just on the flip side. But I'm sure that's everywhere where they got dirty cops. But
Well, we was talking about dirty cops, but now we got to talk about dirty people, which gives us our last topic of the day, fellas. And y'all know where I'm going with this. You know, a certain bad boy is now on trial. Diddy trial has started.
The Diddy Bop.
The Diddy trial has started. And they no cameras. They old school with it. This is a federal case, so they not doing. All we're going to get is sketches. So, let's get into it. Sean Diddy Combs has pled not guilty to charges that include racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted on all counts, he could face up to life in prison.
Dang, that's
So
crazy.
he just so he just got some of his jury selection done. Did you hear about the the one person who who couldn't be a juror because they said that they can't miss out on 8 weeks of weed?
They
Yes,
get
yeah.
that's
He
wild.
said he said he couldn't miss out. He said he can't do 8 weeks without smoking weed. So they told him, "Well, you gonna get up out of here then if your weed this important."
They don't pay nothing to be a juror, no way. Man, what that $11 gonna do?
So we had two people testify today. This is the first day of the trial. And one of the people, his name was Daniel Phillip, which is the prosecution's second witness in the trial. He testified about being his sexual encounters with Combs and his former girlfriend Cassie. Okay, he said the first encounter. He testified that he went to the Gramercy Park Hotel expected to perform at a bachelorette party. This man is a stripper. Okay. He's a former stripper. Um, he said, but when he arrived, Cassie was alone. Philip said there was also a man that was sitting in the room wearing a white robe, a hat, and a bandana, I'm sorry, and a bandana covering his face from his nose down. He said he immediately recognized the man's voice as Diddy, though Diddy didn't truthfully identify himself at the time. Philip also testified that Diddy would direct him and Cassie for them to have sex. He testified about one occasion where Cassie instructed him to urinate on her.
Sounds
Diddy
like
was
an R. Kelly case.
Diddy was masturbating while this happened. Also testified that he recorded them to have sex 1 or 2 times using a phone and a camcorder device.
This is wild.
Philip testified that Cassie appeared to be intoxicated on drugs once they met up. He also said that once that he took Molly and Combs offered it to him, and he also felt nauseous but euphoric at the same time.
That's wild.
And then when it comes to the violent situation, Philip recounted one incident where Cassie was on the computer when Diddy started shouting at her to come here. He started dragging her by the hair into the room. He testified that Cassie was screaming and repeatedly saying, "I'm sorry," while he heard the sounds like Diddy slapping her. He said he was shocked and was worried about losing his life if he ever told anybody. So this is the first day of testimonies. It already done got crazy already. Fellas, the Diddy trial has started and it's looking ugly already.
Yeah, I
Eric,
mean,
that's not funny. Eric, that is not funny.
Take that.
That's not funny, Eric.
yeah, I feel like they mainly gonna focus mainly on the Cassidy stuff. Everybody was talking about, oh, well, the videos coming out. Ain't no videos coming out. The judge already ruled all that stuff out for it even being a part of the trial. So I think a lot of people going to be disappointed on what they thought they were going to see, and all these names and all that. I don't even think they have a case for that. I mean, outside of the allegations, most of this stuff is coming from the domestic abuse.
Yeah.
There is no now the law with the trafficking. I forgot which boxer it was, because remember, this is a new law. When he started taking people around, he was a boxer. He used to take. He was like I can't think of his name, but he was convicted of this because he would have like women and he would travel with them. So that's when they kind of made that whole thing of like the traveling, the trafficking. If you're dealing with any prostitutes, anything like that, and you're moving them back and forth between state lines, or you're dealing with any kind of sexual work or strippers and stuff like that, I feel like that's mainly what they're gonna probably hit him with a lot of that stuff, because the case with her is closed. That's a closed case. He paid the
Yeah,
settlement.
she got paid. Yeah, she got paid.
So she's somewhere right now living it up.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. So, I don't know. I don't know really where they're gonna come with it, but the only thing I can think that they really gonna try to push him on is sex trafficking. Because if he was moving her from state to state and he was inviting, strippers and things like that to come over, I can see them trying to pull that, which again is nothing new. They use that tactic a lot. But I do know it was something that was mainly pulled out. It was a law that was created for this boxer. They say it was this boxer that used to go around. He used to have a lot of white women. And he would travel with them and things like that. So that's when that law, I think it was like back in the 60s. I'm going to find the name of them, where they really kind of dropped this whole trafficking thing with taking women from one state to another. So you got to really be careful with that. Anytime you dip there. That's why I say, and they wonder why past pro bros exist. When you not in these days and times, watching this whole Diddy thing, we've come to learn, as a man, don't even care that much. Diddy cared way too much. When it came to beating her in the hallway and all that stuff, it's just ridiculous, unnecessary. You an emotional dude and you deserve to be in jail, because jail is made for emotional men, because you make bad decisions when you're in a highly emotional man. So I think if anything the world can learn from that is that, bro. Like, it is not worth it. Ain't no woman in the world, including your mama, worth you going to jail for. Let them be. But Diddy has.
I don't know about that. I might. If my mom was still there, I might crash out.
Nah, I ain't crashing out over no female. Not when you telling me it's all these other females. I can understand if this was.
I'm talking about the mom. I'm talking about the mom.
Mama.
Yeah.
Because if somebody fuck with your mama, Luke, you first thing smoking down here.
I wouldn't crash out though. Logic. Okay. I'm too old. Logic. I really would, even if I got daughters. Now, if you was to say my daughters is probably the only time I would probably crash out. But my mom, not my mom. My mom is older than me, so there's that level of wisdom that should be there for her as well. Unfortunately, it looks like Cassidy, she didn't have. No, I'm not gonna take that responsibility away from her, because unless he was literally chaining her to like his arm, you could have got away. Now, whether it was a mental thing or you being scared, or he might have had a threat on you, because he does have power and he does seem to have a compulsive obsession disorder, I can really get it. But she got paid. She got paid for all of the things she went through, which was very unfortunate. And I'm so grateful that video came out, because we would have never really knew the type of monster that he was if we didn't see that video. So I feel like that's mainly what they're gonna try to push with this case: the sex trafficking and having all of these different people come in and engage.
We also got a racketeering conspiracy charge too, which is like, basically having phony business, basically, trying to have some illegal business practices. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna catch them on that. I don't think they're gonna catch them on that.
They probably didn't know about it already. It's just you got to add on. They been knew what Diddy was doing. FBI, CIA, Central Intelligence. These jokers know what's going on. But it has to be a story really to be able to hold up in court. So I'm interested to see where it goes, especially since it ain't gonna be no tape. That's why I said it ain't gonna be no tape. The judge already said it. We not interested in all that sexual stuff that the social media seems to be just so obsessed with. I've never seen so many people obsessed with watching other people engage like this. It's weird to me. almost. That's kind of
You should
weird.
have been to them parties. They want to know what
Yeah,
them
like,
parties like, Luke.
and
They want to know.
we've always known stuff like that exists. Because if that's the case, you got to go after every single person who has an OnlyFans account. Every single person who has an OnlyFans account, because most of them OnlyFans accounts, those are people who are hiring people, or like the industry that they have where they hire people to engage in these things and they sell the video. So it's like, I don't really think that's what they're gonna go after him for when it comes to that. They finna come after him for that money, like you said, that racketeering.
Baby oil.
The baby oil was crazy. That was crazy. Now let me ask y'all a question. Did they say that the baby oil had a substance inside of it? Was that something that was proven to be a fact?
Yeah. That's they said. They said that's how he was hiding everything.
It's the baby oil.
It was in the baby oil. But so I want to say something about this situation now. Okay. This is another black man being publicly humiliated. Maybe yes, some sickness and things of that nature, sexual deviousness or whatever you want to call it, that might have happened when it came to P. Diddy or Diddy. But I want to get to the root of certain things, because remember, this is behaviors like these are learned and conditioned. And if there is a certain sickness that this man had or obtained, it came from somewhere else before him. Okay. And there's a lot of different people names that have been dropped when it comes to the Diddy situation. And one of the names before Diddy was a man named Clyde Davis, who was a producer, who is a manager, and all of those things, right? Also the CCO of Sony Music. And if we're gonna dig deep into, why this is happening to, you ever notice that musical geniuses or black people who are operating at a higher level when it comes to whatever craft they're doing, have some type of baggage behind them? And Clyde Davis, I believe, is that baggage. I believe that white man allegedly did some things to him, but to Sean when he was younger, as he was growing and doing the things of, that he's at, that man is 93 years old. His name has come up repeatedly. Do you all believe that some things were going to come out about this white man, and instead Diddy had got caught in a crossfire? And this is just all speculation. This is just questions I just had on the top of my head.
I mean, if it did, I wouldn't see them really saying it, because it's the level of it hidden. Nobody really knows him like that. Not like they would know a Sean Diddy Combs. So, if it was just to kind of explode it, yeah, it would make sense that they would do it to Sean, because he was the superstar. He was the one who his name is going to hold weight with the story. But
he also got into it a lot of times with Whitney Houston as well. I don't know if you knew about that. And I don't know. I think they kind of showed a little bit of that in her movie that just recently came out, either last year or so.
Which one, did he do it or didn't he do it?
No, the Whitney Houston movie. But I'm talking about the sickness of the mind of, if this is what he's doing, to prostituting his woman, this supposedly his girlfriend, and wanting her back so much, and always chasing her back, always making sure she came back. That's why she was so scared a lot of times. Like you said, Luke, she got paid. So the case really ain't about her anymore. It's really just focused on him. She just being a part of the case because she filed the lawsuit and got the money. So her name continues to come up in this situation, but there's something deeper here that I feel that is happening when it comes to the Diddy situation and him being in court for this and being locked away for life, the potential of being him locked away for life. Yeah, he's wrong. He has been caught on tape. There was no Clyde Davis. There was no other person that put their hands on Cassie. That was him, 100%. But I always want to think about when it comes to something big like this, when it comes to all of this freak off, all this sexual stuff and the demonizing of, violence. Where did it stem from?
Well,
somebody told him no, and he still took it. That's where it came from.
And he became a billionaire. Black billionaires are a big target, especially dealing with black billionaires, because black people be the quickest ones to turn it back on you. You saw what they did to Jay-Z when the story, when they came out with the false story, when the lawyer, the same lawyer who is working on the Diddy trial, came out with the false story and included Jay-Z, and then it ended up being proven that it was absolutely false. He was nowhere near them around the time and all of that. Yeah, these are, they not used to seeing black men with that much power. That already alone kind of shakes them a little bit. And in the hip hop world is not like the engineering world. So yeah, you can influence people, but your actual effect on society is not as powerful. It's like the saying they said, nigga run, nigga jump, nigga die. We know what jumping is, sports. Oh, and nigga sing and dance. So we know what they allow us to go into and be greatly successful.
Yeah.
The thing usually is that these are not things that build society. They influence society. Music influences society, but it does not build society. So I be believing it be like, oh, you got too big to remember where you came from. Now we finna have to humble you. You know. And in the instance with Jay-Z, now Jay-Z is countersuing. He's actually going to sue the lawyer who came out with those, with the statement and all that, trying to, defame him and basically extort him. So I believe once you start getting to a certain level as a black man, you have to be very careful on what you do and who you do it with and who you're around. Because it seemed like they got a target on them.
Agreed. Well, family, we're going to continue, of course, to talk about the Diddy trial as it continues to go on. We do have 2 episodes left for our first season of the Pharaohs Podcast. Fellas, we made it a whole year.
Yeah.
So we got to do something special. I got to see who's going to want to come and talk to us for our season finale.
Get Umar Johnson on.
Yeah, Umar.
He'll do it. What you mean? He'll do it.
Let me reach out to him and see. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he want to do it.
Come on, Israel. Use your connects, bro. Stop playing.
I gotta see if I still got his number.
All right, come on, man. Israel be trying to be
tell him, come on.
Like he don't know people.
Oh, for sure. Sure. We got to get the queen on here for sure before we done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure, Eric. For sure. We definitely gonna get the queen. This is called the Pharaohs Podcast. She's a Pharaoh queen. Now can't they see queen? You know what I'm saying? She gotta come say something. So I'm probably gonna reach out to her myself. Yeah. All right, family. Thank you for joining us on episode 50 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon, and you can follow me on Facebook at Cornelia Solomon Walker. You can find me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want your book to be published, you can email me at cwalker1582@gmail.com. Don't forget, I got a book out. There are only 9 numbers, a book of numerology. Okay. It's online for you to order your copy right now. Israel, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me at jonathanjohnson61.com. Y'all can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast. Email me and yeah, working on some things.
Luke, where can people find you?
You can find me at Luke733leader9 at gmail.com, or you can also find me at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. We appreciate you all. Like Solomon said, like, subscribe, tell somebody about us.
For sure, for sure. And you can find all of us at the Pharaohs Podcast at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. And if you can't see us and join us live on Mondays, every Tuesday, the Pharaohs Podcast is on Spotify. Okay. I got some things working on when it comes to Apple Podcasts and all of that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. There is episode 48. I still believe it's still up, but I think that's the only episode that's up at the moment. So check it out. All right, family. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. A-Town down.